Hello, my dear students. Welcome you. Today, in this video lecture, I will give you much more information about the Bohr's theory quantities. The name of this topic is quantities associated with Bohr's theory or Bohr's model. Here, uh, in this video, we get a full knowledge about the hydrogen atom. In that atom, electrons revolving in the different orbits. So the radius of orbit and frequency, energy, velocity, many things. After watching the video completely, you will get the entire knowledge of hydrogen atom. I hope and I am sure you will get the complete knowledge about the Bohr's theory by watching this complete video. So let's see the quantities associated with Bohr's orbit. Very interesting. You couldn't see ever before about these quantities. So in this video lecture, we are going to discuss the radii of orbits, next velocity of revolving electrons, orbital frequency of an electron, and energy of the electron, and frequency of the emitted radiations. Frequency of the emitted radiations. These are very important to get the problem solution about the Bohr's theory. You have to understand the radius of orbits. So different orbits consist of different radius. So there are more number of orbits in an atom, there will be many more radius, so that the plural term radii of orbits, and the velocity of revolving electrons. How these velocity of electrons depends on the different parameters like the atomic number, orbital number, and orbital frequency of an electron, and the much more important thing is energy of electron. Next, frequency of the emitted radiation. By knowing this, you can easily give the line spectra of hydrogen atom. As you are very much previous knowledge about the Lyman, Balmer, Paschen, Brackett, Fond series. To know about that different series in a complete power pack of the knowledge, you have to study about the energy of electron and also frequency of the emitted radiations. By knowing these two, you can find the energy and frequency for the different types of atoms. Let's see one by one. First, radii of orbits. To get the complete awareness, complete information about these 5 parameters, you have some knowledge, little bit knowledge about the Bohr's theory of atomic model, which is hydrogen atom, Bohr's theory of hydrogen atom. In that 4 assumptions are made. The 4 assumptions are very much important. What are the assumptions? Electrostatic force is balanced with the centrifugal force. First one is electrostatic force is balanced with the centrifugal force. It is there in the previous video. So watch the complete video. And now the next one is about the angular momentum, which is equal to integral multiple of h by 2 pi. Third one is about the stationary orbits. Fourth one is excited orbits. By that excitation, you will get E2 minus E1 equal to h nu. So first, let's obtain the radii of orbits. First, to obtain this radii of orbits, as you know, mv are equal to nh by 2 pi. From this, the v, which is linear velocity, that is v equal to nh by 2 pi m r. Okay. So v equal to nh by 2 pi mr. Substitute this v value in this balanced force equation. So substituting this value in electrostatic balancing equation. Substitute this value. See, the balance equation is E square by 4 pi epsilon naught r equal to m by r. What is v here? nh by 2 pi mr. It's a square because it is mv square. So n square h square by 4 pi square m square r square. Okay. Now, upon substituting and after simplification, you will get here, this is r square. So r square gets cancelled, 4 gets cancelled, pi and 1 pi gets cancelled, and 1m gets cancelled. So you will get the r equal to take this r into left side and remaining all right in the right side. So after writing, you get n square h square, and this one goes to numerator to the right side, and pi m e square. This is the radius of Bohr's orbit. Depending upon the n value, if it is first orbit, for the first orbit, n equal to 1. So when you substitute that, you will get radius of first orbit r1 equal to h square epsilon n square is 1 square, it is 1, and see, n square is 1 square, it is 1, and h square, it is Planck constant, that is 6.625 into 10 power minus 34, its square, and epsilon naught 8.85 into 10 power minus 12 by pi 3.14, and m, which is mass of electron, that is 9.1 into 10 power minus 31, and charge of electron. So all were constant. So after substituting these values, you will get 0.529 angstrom. It is an entrance question. You should remember this value, that R1 equal to 0.529 angstroms. Okay. So by using this radius, you can get the different orbital radius. If it is the second orbit, you can multiply, you can substitute 2 in n value, so that 2 square. So you should multiply 4 with 0.529. As you know, this h square epsilon naught by pi m e square value is this one, 0.529, and whenever you substitute n value as 2, that is 2 square, that is 4 into this value, you will get the radius for the second orbit. Likewise, when you substitute n value as 1, 2, 3, you will get the radius for the first, second, third, etc. orbits. So this is about the radius, and let's see the velocity of the revolving electron. Second one is velocity of revolving electron. So for the velocity of revolving electron, substitute this r value in the angular momentum equation, mvr equal to nh by 2 pi. So first, what is r? Rn, say this is Rn or r, which is equal to n square h square epsilon naught by pi m e square. Keep in mind, remember this equation. This equation gives complete different equations. నువ్వు ఈ ఈక్వేషన్ ఉపయోగించి మిగిలిన ఈక్వేషన్స్ ని కూడా పొందొచ్చు. So this is r, and substitute this in this mvr equal to nh by 2 pi. So here mv, what is r? n square h square epsilon naught by pi m e square equal to nh by 2 pi. So pi gets cancelled, and 1n h 1h gets cancelled, and m gets cancelled. So what is v here? That is the velocity of revolving electron, and that value v equal to, here e square goes to the right side up, e square by 2 into n h epsilon naught. Remember these equations. So this expression shows that the velocity of the electron is inversely proportional to n. See here, velocity of the revolving electron in an orbit is inversely proportional to the orbital number. Ante as you increase the orbital number, so as you see the difference, this is one orbit, and this is second orbit, and this is third orbit. So 1, 2, 3. So as you increase the orbital number, నువ్వు ఎలక్ట్రాన్ గురించి డిస్కస్ చేస్తున్నావు, ఆ ఎలక్ట్రాన్ ఏ ఆర్బిట్ లో ఉంది అనేది మనకు తెలియదు. సో ఇఫ్ యు సీ ద ఎలక్ట్రాన్ ఇన్ హయ్యర్ ఆర్బిట్, ఇట్స్ వెలాసిటీ విల్ బి లెస్ కంపేర్ టు electron which is in the first orbit. See here, velocity is inversely proportional to orbital number. సో ఆర్బిటల్ నంబర్ ఎక్కువ అయింది అని అంటే వెలాసిటీ తక్కువ అవుతుంది. సో వెన్ యూ డిక్రీజ్ ద ఆర్బిటల్ నంబర్, ఇప్పుడు నువ్వు ఫస్ట్ ఆర్బిట్కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఆ వెలాసిటీ ఎంత ఉందో థర్డ్ ఆర్బిట్కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఇట్స్ వెలాసిటీ బికమ్స్ లెస్ కంపేర్ టు దిస్ ఫస్ట్ ఆర్బిట్ ఎలక్ట్రాన్ వెలాసిటీ. దట్ మీన్స్ the nearby nucleus, the orbit, the electron which is in the first orbit, which is near to the nucleus, that electron revolves more fast with more velocity. చాలా ఎక్కువ స్పీడ్ తోని రివాల్వ్ అవుతుంది అనేది మీనింగ్ ఇక్కడ. ఓకే, అండ్ when you see this radius is directly proportional to n square of the orbital number. సో రేడియస్ కి ఈ n కి ఎట్లా ఉంది ఇంటర్కనెక్షన్? వెన్ యూ ఇంక్రీజ్ ద రేడియస్ ఆర్బిటల్ నంబర్ దెన్ ఆటోమేటికల్లీ రేడియస్ విల్ ఇంక్రీజ్ ఇన్ ఇట్స్ స్క్వేర్. సో ఇప్పుడు 2 సెకండ్ ఆర్బిట్కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు దాని యొక్క రేడియస్ ఏమవుతుంది? ఇంకా పెరుగుతుంది. బై సీయింగ్ ద ఇమేజ్ ఓన్లీ యూ కెన్ సీ దిస్ ఈస్ ద ఫస్ట్ ఆర్బిట్ రేడియస్ అండ్ దిస్ ఈస్ ద సెకండ్ ఆర్బిట్ రేడియస్. So second orbit radius is higher than first orbit radius. By seeing this expression, you can imagine that R is directly proportional to n square and the velocity of the revolving electron is inversely proportional to the orbital number. These are the two quantities, and we will discuss about the orbital frequency of electron. Orbital frequency, orbital frequency of electron. So what is orbital frequency of electron? So here velocity frequency in terms of time period is frequency is equal to 1 by time period t. Remember this one, number of oscillations in unit second. That is equated with the frequency is equal to 1 by t, and as we know in our general fundamental things, velocity is equal to displacement by time. Okay, that displacement here, the orbital displacement by time, here the orbital displacement is the circumference of circle చుట్టుకొలత 2 pi r by t. So here in place of 1 by t నువ్వు ఏం సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేయొచ్చు? v by 2 pi r సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేయొచ్చు కదా. సో v by 2 pi r is equal to 1 by t. So substitute that value, v by 2 pi r, and substitute the values of velocity and radius. What is the velocity term? So keep this 1 by 2 pi aside, and velocity is e square by 2 n h epsilon naught, and radius it is n square h square epsilon naught by pi m e square. Upon solving this equation, you can write this as e square by 2n h epsilon naught into pi m e square by n square h square epsilon naught. As this is in the denominator, its reciprocal can be written in the multiplication. So you can see pi gets cancelled. So its value is e square e power 4, that is m e power 4 by 2 to the 4 n into n square n cube h into h square, that is h cube, and epsilon square. So this is the frequency. So this frequency is inversely proportional to n cube. Frequency of an electron is inversely proportional to the cube of the orbital number. Orbital number పెరిగిందనుకో frequency తగ్గుతుంది అని. So its frequency, number of oscillations in 1 second, the quantity can become less when you go on increasing the orbital number. Now let's see the one of the important quantity, that is energy of the electron. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ఒక చిన్న డౌట్ రావాలి. ఏం రావాలి? How you can say the energy while it is in the same orbit? If it is in same orbit, what can you say? If it is in same orbit, its energy should be constant, so that orbit is called as stationary orbits. So okay, energy constant untadi, mari energy is as it is in the revolutionary motion, revolving చేస్తూ ఉంది, it is in motion and it is somewhere some distance towards some distance to the nucleus. So nucleus నుంచి కొంత distance లో ఉంది and it is in motion. So its energy is combination of the potential energy and kinetic energy. So let's see the third quantity, energy of the electron. As we know, energy E equal to kinetic energy, combination of kinetic energy and potential energy. If you know these two quantities, you will easily able to understand the energy term. So kinetic energy, first let's see about the kinetic energy. What is kinetic energy? It is expressed as 1 by 2 mv square, 1 by 2 mv square, and we know the velocity term as 1 by 2 m. What is velocity? E square by 2nh epsilon naught square. Okay, so its equation becomes m e power 4 by 2 to the 4 to the 8 n square h square epsilon naught. So this is kinetic energy equation, and the potential energy is some different thing. The potential energy is due to the fact that the electron lies in the electric field of positive nucleus. So we know that potential at a distance r from the nucleus is, electron lies in the electric field of positive nucleus. Positive nucleus చుట్టూ ఉన్న ఎలక్ట్రిక్ ఫీల్డ్ లో ఈ ఎలక్ట్రాన్ ఉంది కాబట్టి the potential difference or the potential for this electron to bring the electron from infinity distance to r distance is called as potential. So that potential here we can write as V equal to E by 4 pi epsilon naught r, so that the potential energy in terms of this potential is V into minus E. The potential energy of the electron of charge negative minus E is this one, V into minus E. What is V? E by 4 pi epsilon naught r. What is potential? To bring the charge from infinite distance to some r distance. That is the energy required to bring the charge from infinity distance to r distance. That is called potential, and that potential is E by 4 pi epsilon naught r, and that potential energy for the electron is explained with the multiplication of this potential into negative charge minus E, so that E by 4 pi epsilon naught r into minus E, so you will get minus E square by 4 pi epsilon naught. What is our radius? What is its value? N square h square epsilon naught by pi m E square. Okay, so now let's write see the potential energy minus E square by 4 pi epsilon naught n square h square epsilon naught into this pi m E square goes to numerator, pi gets cancelled, so the potential energy value is minus m e power 4 by 4 n square h square epsilon naught square. See, this is potential energy and this one is kinetic energy. Upon adding these two, you will get complete total energy E, that is equal to kinetic energy me power 4 by 8 n square h square epsilon naught minus me power 4 by 4 n square h square epsilon naught square. So solving these, you will get, take this me power 4 by n square h square epsilon naught common, you will get 1 by 8 minus 1 by 4. So you will able to get me power 4 by n square h square epsilon naught, that is here you will get it is 8 and 1 minus 2. So you will get minus me power 4 by 8 n square h square epsilon naught. This is the energy of the electron. Very easy to understand, and if you are able to substitute the mass of the electron, charge of the electron and orbital number, okay, except this one, you can substitute all the values, all are constant except n. n ఏదైనా కావచ్చు కదా ఆర్బిటల్ నంబర్. సో h వాల్యూ 6.625 ఆ వాల్యూ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేసిన, ఎప్సిలాన్ నాట్ 8.85 ఇంటూ 10 పవర్ మైనస్ 12 సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేసిన. సో ఇవన్నీ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేస్తే you will able to get the energy as minus 13.6 by n square electron volt. అంటే మళ్ళీ ఎలక్ట్రాన్ వోల్ట్స్ లో కన్వర్ట్ చేయాలంటే బై 1.6 ఇంటూ 10 పవర్ మైనస్ 19 చేస్తే you will able to see this equation. సో ఈ ఈక్వేషన్ చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఎప్పుడైతే నువ్వు n వాల్యూ పైన డిపెండ్ అవుతూ నీకు సపోజ్ ఎంట్రన్స్ లో థర్డ్ ఆర్బిట్ ఎనర్జీ ఎంత అంటాడు, హైడ్రోజన్ అటామ్ లో థర్డ్ ఆర్బిట్ ఎనర్జీ ఎంత అంటాడు. అప్పుడు నువ్వు ఏం చేయాలి, ఇక్కడ n ప్లేస్ లో థర్డ్ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేయాలి. యూ ఈజీలీ ఏబుల్ టు సీ 3 square 9, then it is 1.51 minus 1.51, you will get that value. So as you increase the orbital number, then you can see that there is inversely proportional to orbital number. Okay, ఇక్కడ మనం ఏం చెప్పొచ్చు, So from above the calculations, we observe that an electron revolving in hydrogen orbit has a negative potential energy by virtue of its attraction towards the nucleus and positive kinetic energy by virtue of its motion. So ikkada kinetic energy, potential energy etla ochindi, ikkada potential energy idi, inkoti kinetic energy. So ee kinetic energy emo by virtue of its motion and potential energy by virtue of its electrostatic attraction towards the nucleus. So the net energy is negative. So నీకు లాస్ట్ ఫైనల్ గా నెగటివ్ ఎనర్జీ ఎందుకు వచ్చింది? That indicates that the energy is negative means because the potential energy in magnitude is greater than the kinetic energy, and the negative energy signifies that the electron cannot escape from the atom. ఇది ఏం చెప్తుందంటే రెండుతోని బౌండ్ అయి ఉంటుంది. దట్ electron and nucleus are bounded together is expressed by this negative symbol. ఇప్పుడు ఇది నెగటివ్ లేకపోతే దట్ షుడ్ నాట్ బి బౌండెడ్ టు ద సిస్టమ్. సో దిస్ గివ్స్ ద ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ ఫర్ ద బౌండెడ్ సిస్టమ్ ఆఫ్ ఎలక్ట్రాన్ అండ్ న్యూక్లియస్. అంటే దట్ మీన్స్ ఎలక్ట్రాన్ కెనాట్ ఎస్కేప్ ఫ్రమ్ ద atom. So a positive energy for a nucleus electron combination means that electron is not bound to the nucleus. Such a combination cannot constitute an atom. So atom అనేది ఏర్పడాలి అని అంటే the energy must be in negative. So it gets a combination. Okay, it is connected with the nucleus. So let's see the frequency. I already expressed the frequency of orbit, but here frequency of the emitted radiations. ఇంతకుముందు ఆర్బిటల్ ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేసినాము బై యూజింగ్ దట్ ఈక్వేషన్. we get different emitted radiations యొక్క frequency అనేది important to get the spectral lines, wavelengths, wave numbers. This one is very important, that is frequency of the emitted radiations. అందుకే నీకు బోర్స్ అటామిక్ థియరీలో ఉన్న ఆ 4 అజంప్షన్స్ తెలిస్తే యూ విల్ ఈజీలీ అండర్స్టాండ్ దట్ ఆల్ ద క్వాంటిటీస్. సో హియర్ we may discuss about the frequency of the emitted radiation. What are the frequency of the emitted radiations? By knowing that frequency term nu అనేది తెలిస్తే నువ్వు nu bar అనేది తెలుస్తుంది. This is the wave number. To get the knowledge of wave number, let's first discuss about the frequency. How you define this frequency? By using the last assumption made by the Bohr, that is whenever the transition takes place from higher energy state to lower energy state, then the energy will be emitted, the photon energy is emitted. The quantity of the energy is h nu. So h nu equal to E2 minus E1, that is the energy of the N2 orbit to energy of the N1 orbit. మనం ఇంతకుముందు ఒకటి ఫస్ట్ స్టార్టింగ్ అజంప్షన్స్ తీసుకున్నప్పుడు E2 minus E1 equal to h nu అనేది ఇదంటున్నాము, దాన్ని ఇక్కడ ఈ రకంగా రాసుకుంటున్నాం. h nu equal to En2 minus En1. Now let's write the values as En2 is minus me power 4 by 8 n square, that n1 n2 square h square epsilon naught square, minus of minus plus me power 4 by 8 n1 square h square epsilon naught square. So keep in mind, remember the all the factors, all the quantities from the beginning, radii of orbits, velocity of the revolving electron, frequency of the orbit, and energy of the electron, then frequency of the emitted radiation. So here this is the energy, and when you take this value common, me power 4 by 8 h square epsilon naught square, you can write this one as 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square, isn't it? ఎందుకంటే n2 term కే నెగటివ్ ఉంది కాబట్టి you can write that, and this is h nu. When you take this h to the right side, you will able to see the frequency nu equal to m e power 4 by 8 h cube epsilon square by 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. And so if c is the velocity of the light and lambda its wavelength, then as we know c equal to nu lambda, దాని నుంచి వేవ్ నంబర్ కోసం మనం ట్రై చేస్తున్నాం to get the wave number value, that is nu by lambda. So see here, as we know c equal to nu lambda means nu equal to c by lambda. Okay, now write that c by lambda in place of nu, c by lambda that equal to m e power 4 by 8 h cube epsilon naught square into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. So 1 by lambda equal to m e power 4 by 8 c h cube epsilon naught square 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. This is the 1 by lambda is the wave number, and that is nu bar equal to 1 by lambda, that equal to, here in place of this one you can write as r into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. So this is the Rydberg constant. So this is all the things in the r value. R is this one, m e power 4 8 c h cube epsilon square. So when you substitute these values, m is 9.1 into 10 power minus 31. Charge, what is charge? 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulombs. And c, light velocity, 3 into 10 power 8. And h value, Planck's constant, that is 6.625 into 10 power minus 34. And epsilon naught is the permittivity, that is 8.85 into 10 power minus 12. So after all substitution, you will get the Rydberg constant value as 10.97 into 10 power 7 per meter. 10.97 into, if you say 1.09, it is say 10 power 7, but for 10.97 it is 10 power 6 per meter. You can write the value as 1.07 into 10 power 7 also. Okay, that is, or you can write 1.097 into 10 power 7 per meter. So this is about the frequency of the emitted radiation. So this general expression for the wave number of radiation emitted by the electron when it jumps from higher orbit n2 to lower orbit n1. It is very important. ఈ frequency term, energy term and radius term, these three are very important, and we can do one video for the number of problems related to these different quantities of the Bohr's theory. So this is about the today's class. Please watch complete video, then you will get the complete analysis, and I will provide you the link in the description box about the Bohr's theory, which is previous video. Then you will able to understand complete analysis of the Bohr's theory. Thank you so much for watching this video.